1. NS Hosa, Axiom Acer, MVP, FX Open, LGIM, Azubu, Prime, StarTale.
Welcome back. Curious is the second player for StarTale. He's chosen Akalon Wastes as his map, which is, for me, a good choice. It means that later on when you want to send Life out, you probably won't have to face a Terran on it.
And well, we are going to see what happens in the Zerg mirror match. Keep in mind, this is also plan B for StarTale, which means that Curious had a lot of time to prepare for the eventuality that he has to face Ragnarok in this match. The second player that comes out for a team is arguably the strongest one because he can prepare for an opponent, whereas the opponent has no idea who to face in the second game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think that's arguable. I think that's just true. Like, if you're the second player, you have all the cards. And, you know, you can expect that if you win, who might come out, but you can never know for sure.
There we have Life and Bomber. We would expect them both to come out today if Curious is not able to get a few wins right now. Skrill, of course, one of the best players for his own team. Who's going to pull it off today? Game number 2 is going to be a Zerg versus Zerg. We have both of them already in the booth. To the left, we have Curious. To the right, it's Ragnarok with 1 win so far against Avenge on Red City. Can he take down another StarTale player?
By the way, for those watching who probably a lot of you may have forgotten this even, this is the final best of 7 day. Every other match going forward will have 2 additional games in it, so you can have up to 5 players.
That's right. Heading into the playoffs, we have best of 9s once again, and then of course the depth of your team is even more important than it is now.
Yeah.
But who's gonna go to the playoffs? Will it be StarTale or will it be FX Open? That's the question. If StarTale loses today, then FX Open is going to get a playoff spot. If StarTale takes it against LGIM, then they will be the final team that heads into the playoffs. Who's gonna take it? We're gonna find out right now what happens in game number 2. LGM is already in the lead, and Ragnarok, he's out for blood. He wants the second win against Curious, and we're jumping into the map right away here at the GSTL 2013. LGM up against StarTale in game number 2, brought to you by Columbo. Former TSL Zerg player starts to the top left. Oh, actually, this
StarTale, Curious.
Oh.
StarTale, Curious.
10 Overlord for Curious. Yeah, for those of you guys who didn't see that on the production tab, he's not going for a 10 pull.
Yeah, so Curious is the one who starts to the top left to the bottom right. Now we have the former TSL Zerg player. He's now playing for LGIM. Has 1 win so far in this team match. It is
LGIM, Ragnarok.
And Zerg versus Zerg on this map, I would say it's pretty straightforward. It's a 2-player map, so there will usually be some form of pressure. And look at that. Look at that Curious art. I like it. Oh, it's looking good. LGIM with the battle cruiser.
Let's see what they can do today. Maybe we will see MC.
Oh, what's on the screen? Ling run by, right? No, Ling rush. Ling rush. I was close.
You were close.
It could be, you know, he went for the Ling rush in game 1. You know, maybe we see some Ling run bys later.
You saved that one.
She seemed okay with my mistake, so it's fine.
Actually, she called you out a little bit there.
I don't know. I think she was more so saying like, well, you know, okay.
Well, we have a little bit of a variation in the build order here coming into our Zerg versus Zerg. We have the pool first on one hand for Curious. He is playing this a little bit more safe on a map like this. It's actually absolutely correct because this is a small 2-player map. You can go for an early pull if you want to, but Curious is going for a standard pull into hatch play, gets his gas up quite early, whereas Ragnarok, he adds the hatch first, gets therefore a little bit of an advantage in the early gamble with the build orders.
Yeah.
But we have the gas up a lot faster for Curious. So let's see how aggressive he's going to be here. Could also just go for one of those infamous Ling attacks once you hit speed.
Yes, very true. Especially if he gets the idea that his opponent's gas may be delayed. Sends the drone down a little bit early. Which is actually kind of strange considering this is a Zerg versus Zerg.
He will have a lot faster speed, Curious that is. He's already up to nearly 50 gas, whereas we don't even see the extractor just yet for Ragnarok. And there are a lot of builds where you just go up into speed as fast as you can and you build Zerglings and nothing else is Zerglings, always between 15 and 22 harvesters, I'd say.
Yeah.
It's a little bit a matter of preference. And then you just run in and you try to take the game immediately.
And if you can hide your lings, it works really well if your opponent just doesn't have his queens on the ramp.
You know, he wants to know if there is gas.
Yeah, he's going to actually aggressively scout for it. You're so right. This is actually... Oh, he's going to get to see it too.
Because now he knows that the chances of him running into Banelings are pretty slim. The only thing that Ragnarok could do is go into gas and get the Baneling nest out before he goes into speed. That would give him a little bit more safety. But Curious can actually look at this and can be like, you know what? If you do not have anything, I know you can have a double queen, you're probably going to get a couple of extra queens and you might try to hold the ramp, but I might just go for it. And he's already getting the Baneling nest.
Yeah. He's only mining with one drone, but this is so important.
Scouts, oh my god, that is unfortunate. That is something that he should have tried to deny.
Well, what if he just cancels the Baneling nest now and does only lings? Does that still work?
The problem for him is he has to wait for the speed. The Baneling nest is not the crucial thing, it's the speed that it has to kick in. But he really has to make a choice now, because as expected, Ragnarok has those extra queens, we talked about it.
Yeah.
So for Ragnarok, the choice has to be to block the ramp, and he has to have those queens in position. And he will be able to do that because he has the overlords on the map. So map awareness is everything now.
Yeah.
Look at the minimap, see when the Zerglings run in, retreat with your queens, block the ramp, have the Spine Crawler in position so that the queens can transfuse it and the Spine Crawler can hit the ramp. That's the safest part. Well, there we go already.
Roach Warren going down here for Ragnarok. That's bold, but he's making it part of his wall, so that helps out quite a bit.
To be honest, only 13 Zerglings. He's just faking it.
He's faking it, pressuring here, forcing the queens to come down, making him make those evolution chambers a bit early, which actually can help him later. But
if that would have been a commitment, he could have busted through. Like taking down one of those building structures, that would not have been a problem for him. But those extra queens, now that the structure's up, can always transfuse. The Spine Crawler is already behind it. So he could have tried to just muscle his way through, and that's going to happen in this case. And Ragnarok, with his commitment to go straight into the roaches, has actually a little bit of loot here. He wants to get his Zergling speed later on, but for now he can get the gas, or can just invest the gas into his faster tech that we see now.
Yeah. Just continuing to poke here a little bit. There's a massive gas lead. Well, even Morse now into lair, going down in the timings for the extra gases, but there was an earlier gas lead for Curious. He didn't really use just yet, but now that he has his evolution chambers, he can start double upgrades as well. And that's probably what he's going to sink his gas into. So, not going to be too far behind in the tech, and he also has that faster third. So if he can keep this pressure on and get away with that third base, that's really going to come into play here.
It was so important for him to get those 2 upgrades started. That was like so crucial. If they are delayed and Ragnarok hits the timing, especially with Curious trying to defend the third base, he could have been all over already.
Yeah.
But as it is, the tech into lair is later, and that means he has later roach speed. But he still has those upgrades in time, and he doesn't really need roach speed right away because he's the one who tries to save the third base. So he will just be at the left side of the map anyways. It's not like he's gonna move his roach to the bottom right and then tries to retreat and can't because he's up against speed. But he also has, of course, the Hydras a little bit later.
He sneaks in with the Lings somehow. This should not have happened. He may get a few drones here. I don't think he can kill that queen. He's not even going to try for it.
And he didn't see the Hydra yet. At least I don't think he did. The Hydra was built to the top right of the natural, so he shouldn't have been able to spot that. But he knows at least that the lair tech is already completed.
Yeah, he didn't see the den. This is really important scout for Ragnarok here. He's going to know the timing of the lair. If he goes right in, he'll see it just finish, and that's going to make him feel very confident. I really cannot stress enough, like you already said it, but the fact that when Curious saw those 2 evolution chambers, he immediately added his own, because if he hadn't done that, that could have been a disaster, because being 1 upgrade behind is one thing, but being 2 upgrades behind is a completely different thing entirely.
Yeah, you cannot really afford that. That is definitely something where you have to be very, very cautious. At this point, the economy... You know, the big thing right now is for Curious, we have this faster third. And it looks more and more like he is able to really, really run with this. And once the economy, the investment really kicks in, once you get in return for your investment, then it's going to be difficult for Ragnarok, because his own third is so late. I mean, he's not even done with it.
Yeah.
He has the tech advantage, and he has to do something with the tech advantage. If he just lets time pass, then Curious will just catch up in tech, and will have a better army, and the economy a lot faster, so that is the risk that Ragnarok has now.
Yeah, you're so right. The thing is, Ragnarok knows about the third base. The question is when did he spot it? Because if he thinks this is a recent thing because he just flew over here kind of nearby and didn't really check the minerals, then he may feel differently about it. Because it's been up for a long time.
Yeah, and once again, a couple of Zerglings trying to get in. Ragnarok with the 2-2 immediately. Curious, on the other hand, is losing a lot of time. Curious is currently, is he trying to hit this just with 1-1 on his speed? Is he trying to move out?
He has a lot of roaches right now.
And he's building 11 more. He might
I think he's going to hit that timing. He's 30 army supply up right now. He has a few banelings as well to support.
He's trying to go for it. And guys, this is crucial. If he does not win this fight, if he doesn't do damage, then it's basically over. Because he will not have those upgrades. Maybe if he trades, but this is gonna be so important. Curious is moving in. Ragnarok, can he defend? The Spinecrawler is not in position. Those Hydralisks are dancing away from the Roaches, trying to have that shield between himself and his opponent's army. And even if a couple of Banelings are moving in now.
The Banelings doing some extra damage to those Hydras here. He's got the defender's advantage, but so many Roaches rallied across the map here. Drones having to be pulled. He needs to do more damage here, and so far it looks like he will.
All of those drones are already gone, and nice micro so far from Curious. He takes a little bit of a supply advantage here, but those 2-2 upgrades, they are still on the way. He needs to do more damage than he already did. He needs to take down those Hydralisks if possible. He's moving in again.
He's doing it again. He needs to make sure those Roaches at the back don't shoot at Tumors. They need to be part of this fight. And has he made this worth it? It's still hard to say.
How many Harvesters did he actually kill? He took down 19.
Worker count right now, dead even though.
Yeah, dead even worker count. And he took a lot of units down, but the problem for him really being that the 2-2 is about to finish for Ragnarok. This game is by no means over yet, even though the StarTale Zerg player did a lot of damage with his attack. Curious has to finish what he started, and he's trying, but he's up against the second attack upgrade already.
Yeah, and there's a lot of buffer for those Hydras. The Hydras at the back doing so much damage with that +2. A little run by here into the main base is going to distract him. And maybe he can make this work. He pulls his units back. He comes in with a flank. Can he sandwich here? He's going for it. He goes into the main instead.
That is actually a really good move by Curious. He's trying to catch up. He's already heading into the Hydra dead, and he's getting the +2 attack upgrade on his own. But he's sniping what he can. He's taking down that Queen, and now he has to focus on those Harvesters. Has to save the rest of his Roaches. That's what he does. He takes down a lot of Harvesters here. Is that really worth it? We're going to find out fairly soon, because right now Ragnarok, he has a good army, and he has the better upgrades.
Yeah. 64 Harvesters to 50 right now in favor of Curious, but Ragnarok, like you said, he has the better army. He's not waiting either. He's going across the map right now. He's going for the counterattack. He has the upgrade lead. He has the Hydras to help with a little bit of extra damage from the back. Can he make this attack worth it? I think he should be able to.
Curious is even getting a macro hedge right now. He needs to have a little bit more lava, and he's trying to make this work. He is behind in overall supply. He's behind in upgrades. He has less army supply than his opponent. He has to somehow defend by himself the time for his own tech to kick in, but it does not really look good. There's so many Hydralisks already for Ragnarok, and he's on 2-2.
He's on 2-2. You know, the Hydras are not... He didn't make too many Hydras. They're just enough to add that extra DPS to the back that he needs. And even with the concave here from Curious, he's not going to hold. It looks like it's over.
It is too late. It's definitely too late. He's already 40 supply down, and he has less upgrades. This is Ragnarok moving in for the kill. This is the killing blow, Mortal Kombat style. Finish him, and that's exactly what Ragnarok is doing.
Yeah. GG. Curious. Second player to fall here, and Ragnarok starts to get a streak going. Wow. It was just a really good hold by him. It was so close.
StarTale was all killed in the last match against Axiomesa, and they are already 2 games down in their last and final match in the GSTL regular season. They need to win this. If they lose today, they will drop out of the playoffs. FXO, they are happy right now. They are watching this match, and they see that LGM is up. And if LGM wins, then FX Open is in the playoffs. The StarTale coach not looking happy.
Yeah, he shouldn't be. Is it time to call Bomber out now? I don't think you want to ZVZ this guy again. The map that's been chosen is Whirlwind. So, you know, I'm feeling a Terran here. I'm feeling Bomber.
Sound is also, of course, an option. We just had him in camera for a second. But things are not looking good. Curious of all people losing it, you know. I feel his choice was a good one. but he lost that game. He really banked his hopes on this attack on 1-1, and it did not work out for him too well. At the beginning, it kind of looked promising. He even forced the drones off the mineral line. He took down 20 of them, but he just did not enough damage. He could not go through, and the upgrades were already nearly completed for Ragnarok. So I feel you have to. I don't know.
I feel like he didn't have to do that. He had his third base up earlier. He was in a position where he could just continue his own upgrades and play the longer game. It was like he wasn't confident to play the late game, and because he knew that that's where the game was going. They're both getting double upgrades. They're both getting roaches and hydras. Probably it's going to be a long game with concaves and big fights. And maybe he felt like, I'm not confident with that style right now, and I'm just going to try to hit a timing because, he wasn't behind. He was actually a little bit ahead, just a little bit. It was a pretty even game, and he was just like, I'm going to put it all on this one attack and hope that it works. And it ended up being the wrong choice in this case.
It's just tough on the team now. He could have waited a little bit longer. He had the third base up earlier. He was behind in the tech, but that's something where he can just sit tight, use his defender's advantage to rally those units in if there is an attack incoming, and then trying to equalize the tech and still have that economic lead that he gets early on. He did choose, well, he chose to actually do something else, and it didn't work out for him. And now suddenly the StarTale coach is looking at this and is like, Life, Bomber, someone else?
Yeah,
it's a tough choice. I
wouldn't send Live out after that. But the thing is, do you want Life to be the last player? Because he's been, I don't want to say shaky, but this has not been his GSTL season.
I think Life has to be the last. I would send out Life as the last player. They sent him out first the last time. That didn't really work. Sending out Life last is probably the best choice that they have here. But the point is right now, there is kind of, from a tactical standpoint, I feel there's no right choice here. There is, whoever it is, he has to win. And he doesn't only have to win one game, but he has to win at least two. This is why Bomber or Live both would be a good choice, because they are players that are really all-around players that can take these games. I feel at this point the coach just has to, okay guys, who is really confident enough that he can take a couple of wins?
Yeah, he's got to ask some people.
We need you now.
He's got to ask some people. He might be saying, he might have like the battle plan on a piece of paper on the desk, and he's like, I know this was the plan, but things have gone wrong. Do you still want to come out third? Who's it going to be?
You can only
very important.
So it's Hack.
Hack.
Oh wow!
I don't know about this one, man.
Seeing Hack walking to the booth means that we are not going to see either Bomber or Life.
Yeah. Can only be one more after this. Uh-oh. He looks confident in his decision, but to be honest, I'm not so sure myself.
I like Hack and he's a strong player, but if you compare him to either Bomber or Life, I would give the latter two definitely the advantage. So, yeah, that's ballsy. That's a very ballsy choice from the StarTale coach here.
In Wings of Liberty, towards the end, Hack was on the up and up. Everyone was talking about how he was getting better and better. Once Zenex merged with StarTale, he grew, 1,000 times. But in Heart of the Swarm, he's currently a Code B player. He's not in the WCS tournament at all. He hasn't been able to qualify, and he has not looked impressive, to be honest. I wouldn't say he's looked bad, but he's not looked impressive. And you want an impressive player when you are down 2 games already in your most important match of the season. So something in-house is going on for sure. Maybe he feels confident like crazy. Maybe this is his moment, and he's ready, and he wants to do it. I don't know what's going on with Bjol over there. He's doing okay, according to the thumbs up. But
I don't know about this choice either. The problem that you have here, it's not only about picking a player to take down Ragnarok, it's about picking a player that can defeat not only Ragnarok, but is also able to give you at least another win. Because if that's not the case, if you only win 1 game right now, it means the last player has to win 3 if you want to take that match, and that's kind of unlikely. The stronger players here for such a scenario would, in my personal opinion, be Bomber and Life, and I don't think that a lot of people will disagree with this. Even if Hack is currently on fire in the team house, is he really better than Bomber or Life?
Those better be blue flames, man, how on fire he is if he's going to do this.
He's by no means a bad player, like not at all. But this is so important. For StarTale, everything is on the line here. And you can always argue and try to think about... I'm curious who we do see next, because do they try to save Bomber for the individual league? That might be something that's happening here, but Bomber was always the pillar of the team. And I do not believe that Bomber is the guy who says, like, Coach, I don't want to play team
no
league
way,
because
not today.
I want to save my builds for individual league. Not in this scenario, and especially not Bomber.
Absolutely not. Well, here we go. This is so pivotal for StarTale. They've sent Hack out here. Can he turn things around? Otherwise, Ragnarok will get his 3rd kill here at the